Before the tutorial starts, I'm really sorry that I can't use the facecam. My microphone is not working for some reason, so I have to use the phone to record the sound. I don't know if the rig will work on your computer, but I cannot guarantee it, but mine works and I used R20 and there is no refund unless you didn't receive the product. As you know, the Minecraft community is dying, so don't leak the rig if you want to show support. If you cannot buy the rig, that's fine, just don't download the leaked version. Okay, let's just get into the tutorial. So at first, you can click the rig in the object manager. You will see some user data. The first is the rig name. It just prevents from someone from stealing it. See, you can just rename it here. Then there is scale, which is the rig size. It can make your character a chibi or a normal by 100. And next there is a subdivision in the editor. You can make them to 4, and in the renderer you can make them to 4 too. And there is a deformer. It has the bulge, the taper, and the rest you can definitely check them out by yourself. And there are a whole lot of features. There are the arms. There are 4 pixels and 3 pixels. There are some toes. I know it's not weird if you turn on the subdivision. A lot of rigs doesn't have that features, so I include it. And there is a fingernails. First you have to open up your fingers, see, and then you have to turn on your subdivision so it will look smooth. There. And there are an eye light. It's like a light for Herobrine eyes. As you can see, it's kind of a little laggy. And there's a nose, and there's an ear. I don't know if that's noticeable or not. And you can customize the nose. You can customize it from the color, and then the size and the curve. You can see it's the x-axis. You can make the nose a little wider. In the y-axis you can make it a little taller, and then the z for the depth of the nose. And when your z reaches 100%, you can use the curve. It's like this. Okay, you can customize your ears also. If your ears have different position, you can just move this around. And there are settings for the fingernail, which is the opacity. I would recommend it stays on 5%. Okay, for the next features we have the gyroscopic head. Well, if you rotate this like 45, you can see the head will follow, but if you turn on the gyroscopic head, the head will stays like this flat. And then we have some tracking head. It will summon or create its null. You can move the null around and the head will follows. You can parent this to an object and the head will follow the object direction when it's moving. And there is some jaw adaptation. When you turn it off, You can see when you open your mouth, it does nothing, but when you turn on the jaw adaptation, you can prevent it from colliding from the mouth and the chest. You can see the head goes up. And there are some body extras. You can enable it for an extra controller for the body. There are some controller types. You can change it from shade and line, and then both. And for the next features, we have the smart move. If you enable it, it just make you easier to make a walking animation cycle. You see? And sorry for the lag, my PC can handle it. And there are some smart rotate, which allows the body to rotate as you move the hand. And there is a body adaptation, where the body will look like a natural human skin. When you rotate the arm, you can see the body will follow it and made a deformation. And there are a hide mouse on drag option. If you turn it off, you still can see your cursor moving, but if you turn it on, these features allow you to hide your cursor and make your workflow even faster. There is a breathe control. If you move, and it will summon this hexagon shape, and when you move it up and down, it will breathe a lifelike effect. Okay, for the next features, we have the detach. When you turn on the detach, for instance the right arm, when you move your body, the right arm will not follow. Okay, then there is this logo of mine. You can hover here, click the logo, and press Q to access facial control or access user data and attributes. So you can click the logo and access a whole lot new of user data. And there is the skin tab. You can click these three dots and it allows you to change up your skin. But I recommend the one that doesn't have the eye, like this. And there is a material manipulation, like the hue, the saturation, the brightness, the contrast, the transparency. This will make a good effect. And then there is reflect. It stays in 50%. Well, you can see if we zero this up, if we go a little bit to the left, you can see that it has a little shape for the material. And we go a little bit to the right, then we can see a mirror like material. You can see it reflects a mirror, like a mirror. You see, and there's a heart. It will simulate heart in Minecraft, like when you goes all red and stuff. And there is a phone, and you don't need to do anything with this, but you can make blocky and to smooth like this. You can look at the face. It's just smoothing things up. And there are some facial tab. You can enable and disable your facial parts in here. Let's just get the eye a little down. Okay, so there's a right brow and left brow, the right eye, and then the left eye, and then the mouth, and then there's a color for the eyebrow is right here. You can select and change the color. There are 4 colors, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can change all of them. And then there's the eyes. The white ones are for the pupil or the eyes, and then the blue ones is for the retina, same as the red one. And then there's an eye height. You can see that the eyes are going up, but my skin use this one. And then there's a pupil height. Some skin use 2 pixels in their eyes, so you can't make it double eyes like this by making it to 100%. And there's a pupil roundness. You can make the rectangular pupil become circular. And then there's 5 pupil types. This is the first one. You can change it right here. This is the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. My favorite is the second one, but I use this for default. And then there's a glitter position like this. If you turn all the way to left, it will goes here, the glitter. And then if you turn it, you can see it goes in the middle. And if we turn it again, it goes all the way to the right. And then if we turn this again, it will go sideways. But my default is like this. Wait. Yeah. And there's some glitter types. You can change your glitter. It's like have 5 like this one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. My favorite is the fifth one, but I just use the first one for default. And then there's a mouth settings. You can choose when you open your mouth. And click the user data again. There's a inner mouth color, the teeth, the gum, and the tongue. And there's a mouth type. This one is square mouth, but you can change it to sharp mouth like this. You can enable subdivision and it will go a lot better. And there's a teeth type. You can change it from joint to separated like this, but I use joint for default. And there's a teeth height. You can enable it so it goes like this. Yeah. And then let's talk about the facial control. Okay, so the top one, if you move it to up and down, you can see the brows is going up and down too. But if you move it to left and right, it will set a position of angry or worried. And then the left one is for your outer, how do I say, joint, goes like this. And the other one goes like this. And then there is this bottom one, it goes to the middle joint. And you can rotate this tiny controller. It will make your eyebrows goes like this. Wait, why doesn't that? Why is something broken? No, it's just a bug, I think. It works just fine when you open up a new rig. I don't know why that happened. Okay, you can rotate that. And there's this controller. It's for your eyes. You can see it if you move it up and down. And then move it left or right. And this 2 controller, it's for the eye height. You can definitely try it out by yourself. And then there's this controller, I think it's for the dizzy effect. You see, goes like that. And you can rotate this controller for the pupil size. There, this mouth, You can open up your mouth by clicking this bottom triangle and move it down, and then you can widen if you move it to the right, and then you can move your mouth by clicking this middle rectangle. See? And then the left and right is for your expression. You can drag it up and drag this up, and don't worry about this or that, it will be gone if you turn on your subdivision. And then when you click the top triangle, you can move it left or right, and you can see the smile is becoming sharpened. You can see, and then if you move it all the way right here, it goes like that. And that's it for the facial controller. You can press Q again to close it. And then there is this body controller. The top one is for the squash and stretch, everyone knows that. And then these two controllers are for the eyes. You can move it up, and down, and then left and right. Again, you can rotate the lid, the eyelid. And there's this one is for the mouth. You can move it as well as rotate it. And there is the tongue controller. You can click it and move it around. And then it's the main head controller. You can rotate it. And there's this body top controller. You can move it around like this. And then you can also rotate it. And there's this upper body. You can move it around. It will make an animation like this. And then you can, the lower body, you can click it and it goes like this. If you move it around, you can also rotate this one. And then there's this hip controller. You can move it around like this. It's not like the same as the other rig. The controller doesn't go this way. You can also rotate this. And then there is this main body controller. You can rotate it, and you can also move it around. Okay, let's just go for the arms. You can click this bottom ones, and you can see that there are some user data, which is the first one is the 90-degree bend lock. When you move the arm, when the user data is off, you can see it can bend more than 90 degrees. If you don't want that, the glitch is fine when you turn on the subdivision. You can turn on the user data, then it will be locked at 90 degree. And then there is this bend type. It's the sharp one, and if you go to smooth, you will see it will have a smooth bend. And then there's a stretch range. You can stretch your arm, and then you can set it to 50 at max, and then at 0 at minimal. And there is a stretch type. There's a position stretch, which is like a normal stretch, and there's a volume stretch. Will make your arm even tinier when you stretch it. It will maintain the volume of your actual arm. And then there's a bulge stretch, when you can see the middle one is getting smaller. You can see that curve of bulge. And then there's a taper stretch. You can see the top arm will get even tinier. You can see. And then there's a good width. I don't know how to spell that. You can see your arm is square right now, but if you turn up the grid, you can see it will become circular. And then there's this a extra controller for the arms. You can enable it like this, turn it on, and turn this one on. There is this top controller, which allows you to control the top joint of the arms. And then there's this extra controller. You can move it around, and then you can also rotate this. You can also rotate this too, I think. No, you can't. You can actually. There is this wrist. You can rotate it. You can only rotate it. And then the bottom one is for the bend. You know it. And then there's this finger option. This finger controllers. When you move it, the finger will automatically be open. And if you move it all the way, it will go like this. Then if you move it down, you will see the finger will bend. And then there is this rotation. There's a Bnp rotation. This one, a lot of rigs doesn't have this rotation of fingers, but rigs like Switch and other, they use this to rotate their fingers when it's not natural. Mine is a lot better, but I make both. And you can select this controller and press Q, so you can control each fingers. And then there's this pole. It just to rotate your hand, but I usually keep this off. And the feet controller is same as the arm, but it has the feet type. There's this sharp feet, and then if you the feet type, you turn it to smooth, then it will go like that. And then there's a extra for feet controllers. It usually be automatic, but if you want to control the feet, you can control it here. And I think that's just about it. Oh yeah, you need to extrude the rig, right? So extruding in AMR is actually pretty simple. You can go to layers and unlock the extrude layer. You can click here, and then after that you just go to this mesh square and you click one of the layer, like the body maybe, and then you go to polygon mode, and then you select one of the pixel and click D. It's just like extruding a normal rig. Then you go back to model mode. After you extrude, the rig will not work, and that's why you have to synchronize your mesh to your deformer. You can go to synchronize tab and click the body part, because we extrude the body, and click initialize, and after that your body is ready to move. The benefit of using this method is that you have no extrude limitation, not like the other rigs, and it will be a lot easier without you opening up those complicated things. And oh yeah, I've added a little more. If you find yourself stuck your controller in the middle of your body like this, and somehow you can't reach it, like you can't click it because it's covered, you can just double click this icon and double click this controller you're looking for, and then there, you got yourself a controller. And that's just about it. I'll see you in my next video.